Yeah, hello everyone, welcome back to the ROKER Report Podcast, blah, blah, blah. My name's Alex, here's Anthony. How you doing, Anthony?
Hi,
Okay, it's just me and Anthony today. We're just going to get straight to the point. Yesterday's game was absolutely god-awful, and we're just going to talk about it from the get-go.
The rest of ROKER Report's actually binned it, so it's just me and Alex.
Yeah, much like the players on the pitch yesterday, the ROKER Report crew have gone into hiding once the results have gone awry, and therefore there's only me and Anthony in the studio. So yeah, we have literally just myself and Anth here, so just going to be just two sad blokes talking about a terrible game of football.
I'm about to cry about Bolton.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it's going to go. So I suppose I'll give a brief recap of the week in football. We've not got the 3-word review or any other segments because none of us were in any mood to even think about trying to organise this pod in a coherent way. So let's just go for it. Sunderland drew 1-1 with Rotherham on Tuesday and then lost 1-1 with Bolton yesterday. and that's pretty much it. So, Anthem, I was about to say there that we'll start with you, but we don't really have a choice but to start with you. So
the chair. I mean, the chair's nice. You can talk decent.
Tell me about it. Pretend that I have the privilege of not knowing how bad we are.
Yeah, unfortunately, we all know how bad we were. We never looked like winning from the start. Bolton came out. They looked like an accomplished side when they only met 4 minutes ago.
Yeah.
They hit the post early on, thinking that's it. The side's going to wake up. Then we go 1-0 down after the second half. Jack Hobbs at the back post knocks one in. Very contentious penalty in about 91 minutes. It's never a penalty. I felt so sorry for Bolton at the time, and I still feel sorry for them now. McGeady smashes home the penalty. One's a piece. Somehow we got to draw a point out of that.
Mm-hmm. I just think it's absolutely pathetic the way Saturday is saying, we've managed to sneak a point, a very contentious point against a team that, as you say, met about 4 minutes ago.
The mighty Bolton.
Yeah, they fielded literally 8 of their 9 senior players yesterday, and the rest of that team was made up of lads who were doing GCSEs 1 or 2 years ago. To be perfectly honest, that's no real disrespect to Bolton. I probably should be, giving them a bit more grace, because yesterday, given the situation they've been in and what they've gone through in the past few weeks and months, they played really well.
Absolutely.
And they had far more of a game plan than we did. But and sadly, I'm afraid that says more about us than it does about them.
I think it says a lot about Jack Ross's time here now. I've seen a stat today saying that when we think we've been so competitive that we've only been in the top 2 for 45 days in Jack Ross's tenure, when it appears that we've been in the top 2 forever and nobody seems to have noticed that we haven't actually been up there. Mm-hmm. I've been a Jack Ross in kind of guy from start to finish. I think yesterday was perhaps another nail in the coffin though, and I think we're looking towards looking for another manager, I'd suppose. I'd hazard a guess.
I think that's probably the way it's going to go. I mean, I was in the Jack Ross in camp until about 2:59 p.m. yesterday, but ever since the game, they kicked off, and I could just tell from the offset that they just weren't going to turn up. I mean, I was there. I watched from the lofty heights of the University of Bolton Stadium just how the players just hid all game, and there are players in that team now who are getting scapegoated like Denver Hume, but they get no support.
I think with as you say, Denver Hume got slating in the ratings yesterday. Actually, with ourselves, with the wonderful mighty ROKER Report, Denver Hume got slated, but I think there's more to it than Denver Hume having a poor game. I think he didn't have the opportunities to play the ball forward. He didn't have the opportunities to play the ball at all at times. He was just left isolated on the left-hand side. Yeah, it's all depressing, isn't it?
It is. It's really, really shocking. I mean, if we're going to pick apart the game based on performers, though, now Denver Hume, he's someone that, no one played well yesterday.
No.
I'm not about to say, oh no, he's not a 1 out of 10. He's a 7 or 8. I'm not about to give anyone any kind of praise, because in my eyes they were all disappointing at best and atrocious at worst.
But I think if you're going to give Denver Hume a 1, the rest of them have got to take a 1 as well. I think
they've got to take a 0. The rest of them,
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, here's someone I want to go to. The point I'm going to get at here is we're going to look at the choices made by Jack Ross to play the individuals he played and where he played them. And ultimately those players didn't play well, but all of these bad decisions do come down to the manager ultimately. But we'll focus on the players for now before we get to what I believe is without a doubt the root of the problem. Grant Ledbetter away from home again. Now, this is a game where you needed to make a statement of a win if he wanted to get the fans back on side. If he wanted to really just get his doubters flying his banner again. He needed like a 6 or 7-0 win.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds a bit delusional, but ultimately, if teams like Rotherham and Peterborough, who are our rivals, are beating them 6-1 and 5-0, and we want to prove that we're better than them.
Didn't Ipswich give them a pasting as well, 6-0 or something? Yeah.
That's it, yeah. Well, if we want to prove that we're one better than our promotion rivals, then logically it would be best to aim for one better than what they beat Bolton by. They should have gone for a 7-0. From what we get, and obviously what we get is another 1-1, which is just, it's honestly just absolutely pathetic. Honestly, I digress. Grant Ledbetter away again. You know, a game where you need to have momentum and you need to go at them with real vigour and real attacking intent. And he just slows everything down again. In a 2-man midfield, he just, if Grant Ledbetter is one or two of your men in that role, it's just...
If Grant Ledbetter is the answer, what is the question? There's nothing there for him, is there?
Yeah. I don't know. Did you want to actually go with that? I had a few ideas. We'll do like a mock the week segment. We'll do a mock the weekend.
We might end up with a libel case. Perhaps not.
Yeah, possibly. You never know. Yeah, well... Why is Ross persisting with Ledbetter, and why does he do it even though we're all very aware that it just doesn't work?
I think it's perhaps mind over matter sort of thing. He's chose him as his captain. He then sees that he must play him. I'd imagine that's about it.
Mm-hmm. But that's the Honeyman fallacy, isn't it?
Yes, that's I'd imagine it's the same sort of thing. He's picked his captain. Can't be seen to not be giving him a chance in the first team if that's his captain.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a dreadful footballer. He really isn't. But against Bolton, we should be playing lads with more attacking intent and somebody who wants to make that final pass.
Mm-hmm.
Greg yesterday as well. Choosing Greg was almost an act of genius. If he'd put the midfielders on who could provided any service to him, and there was just... I mean, he had that one chance which everyone put their head in the hands and thought, this is just not going to work. But yeah, it's depressing. I can't... When they came out yesterday, about 5 minutes in, I was looking at it going, has Jack Ross even spoke to them? Is there a game plan? There's not even a plan A, never mind a plan B. There was nothing there. It was mortifying just to see the same turgid stuff that came out at the beginning of the season against Oxford. We weren't efficacious enough at the front to play balls into the centre. We had no quality on the end of that. We had Denver Hume skying balls into Rose Ed. That was Oxford. Now, last night, yesterday afternoon, we didn't have anybody who even wanted to put the ball in the box for anybody. It was just, I mean, Flanagan had that header. That's about the only chance I can think of at the moment. We had basically no end product from start to finish, and we were so fortunate to get a penalty. So fortunate.
Yeah. What I've seen recently in our Sunderland team that differs greatly from, say, the start of the season or even last season is that they don't try to play as much down the wings as they used to. Like, I mean, I remember against Oxford, everything that Ross's team tried to do came through the wings. And I think that just put Hume under more and more pressure. He got more and more groans from the home fans with every cross that he skied. And I mean, ultimately, I can't sit here and just say that we have to be nice to him all the time if he's not playing well, because that's just not how it works in the game of professional football.
Have you read Twitter?
Yeah, well, have you read anything? You know, I mean, but that's the thing as well. You know, ultimately you can't blame fans for being dissatisfied with the performance, and they are going to verbalise that in a game, and it's just it's a reaction. It's instinctive. Again, I'm steering away from my initial point. Is that we've started recently to play more through the middle, but where I believe that halts and that stagnates for us, and I think we're getting towards it, is that when you've got Ledbetter in the middle, he slows everything down. Like, all the momentum that could be generated through the middle and into some strikers spearheading an attack, it just gets lost. He either can't get to the ball quick enough to do what needs to be done with it, or he just doesn't have that mindset. All of his balls just go, well, they go sideways at best.
Who would you have replaced him with?
McGeoch. Dylan McGeoch. Dylan McGeoch cannot catch a break. Season after season now, well, I say season after season after last season now, not to over-dramatise it, well, he probably has been and currently is our best holding midfielder. He's neat and tidy on the ball. He can pick it up and distribute it. He can think in an attack-minded way while also being conservative if we're defending. McGeoch in League One has never looked like a bad signing at all, but he was kept up by Honeyman and now Ledbetter for the same reason, because they're the captain.
That's it.
But ultimately, the difference for me, though, between Honeyman and Ledbetter, I thought Honeyman was more positive on the ball. Wasn't the best midfielder, definitely not. but he had more intent than
He
Ledbetter
wanted to go
does.
forward. He scored more goals than Ledbetter ever will in this side. Midfield-wise, McGeoch would have been a good shout, but in the end, it's another holding midfielder. We didn't need holding midfielders in that game yesterday at all. What we needed to do was get the bit between the teeth, get out there and pummel them from start to finish. Like, don't lump balls forward from the back. All we had to do was play the ball on the floor. We didn't do it once. We were lumping aimless balls at Grigg, who's not the tallest and not the strongest.
Yeah.
And then when White come on, we started playing the ball on the floor. What was going on? It's crazy stuff.
The mind boggles. Like, it's absolutely like, if it wasn't really irritating, it'd be hilarious. But you're right. When they went through the middle, when we seldom threatened by attacking them head on, the most we seemed to have were a few talented individuals who ultimately didn't really seem to have like a good sequence planned or a good set out. I mean, again, McGeady, and I'll get to him, but he was frustrating on the ball.
Yeah.
I just don't think that there were many real ideas. And so many times when we got the ball out wide, rather than looking for a way into the middle, we did just like hoof a ball in. Then there's Grigg chasing it down with 2 6'3" defenders on him.
Absolutely. I've got an unpopular opinion about McGeady anyway. I don't think he offers us much at all. Until
you know what?
He gets a 15-minute spell in his game, and he's out of this world. He's by far the best player on the pitch for this 15 minutes, but the rest of it, he's gone, and it's so frustrating. I'm probably being too bad about him, to be honest.
But is that an unpopular opinion though? Like, if you look at the past 4 games, what has McGeady done?
He still bangs them in, doesn't he? It's without over dramatising it. He still gets the goals. If he didn't get the goals, then he'd probably be under the same sort of hammer as Ledbetter would be, or as. It's just, we need players who are going to get the ball at the feet and have something that moves forward. If we can't move forward, then what's the point in playing football? If you want to play the ball sideways or backwards, then what's the aim of a game of football? Put the ball in the onion bag. That's all you've got to do. How hard could that be? Put the ball up to Grigg. If he buggers up, then at least you've given the ball to Grigg. How hard could it be? He speaks as a non-professional footballer.
Yeah, well, aren't we all? You know, I don't think we've.
No, the best Sunday League player that's ever been, though. That's the thing.
Well, I'd imagine you're probably better than me, probably. So I'll give you that answer. But yeah, it's just in Grigg's defence, though. If we're gonna maybe put the lens back on him, in the second half, he did come into the game a lot more, and when we were playing on the ground, he was providing a lot. His first touch was excellent.
Yeah, you can see he's a player in there.
Yeah, it really helped to orchestrate attacks through the middle when they happened. But again, the issue is that not often enough are we starting with that as our game plan. I mean, I don't know about you, but let's say you start that game yesterday with a 4-3-3, and as you said there, you know, you ditch the emphasis on having a holding midfielder, and you just put together a team that's going to go one way, and then if it gets done on the counter, it could get done on the counter. But ultimately, when you're up against a team like Bolton, who'll be shot on confidence, who are shipping 5 or 6 per game, and you just attack them from the off, you get an early goal, and the rest will be history.
I couldn't agree more. You get an early goal, and that side capitulate. Unfortunately, we didn't get an early goal or a goal at all until the 91st minute.
Was that even a penalty, though?
No. Well, it is now in the law, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
insofar as it was given by a referee, it's a penalty.
Yeah, well, it's given as a penalty. In the laws, it's a penalty because it's hit the defender's hand.
It was a jammy one, though.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's I just as much as I love to say that we came away with a point, I was devastated for Bolton there. I mean, the rubbish they've been through recently, and they're finally getting some points on the board. They're finally getting a win, and then we go and steal it from them.
Snatched away in a really cruel fashion. But honestly, the 1-1 scoreline flattered us. It really, really did. And
normally, when we get
1-0 to Bolton was the deserved result.
Absolutely. We get a goal in the last minute, and it's like a 1-1 win, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yesterday, we just felt like we'd stole something, and it felt horrific.
Yeah. It's like you'd stolen from like an old woman, wasn't it? It's like okay, yeah, you've got a bit more money now to keep you going, but ultimately, look what you've done. Look what you've done.
It's like going around with a charity ID that's fake and stealing out of people's purses. That's
pretty much, yeah.
It felt awful. It felt absolutely awful.
The only way that could have been worse is if McGeady actually just missed the penalty.
I'd have cried, I think.
I actually think, right, in that game yesterday, he looked really frustrated and his confidence looked like it was getting shot. He's done this thing recently, and I don't know why he started doing it. He keeps falling over. Like, have you noticed? Like, he did it against Rotherham. He went down the wing and then just tripped over himself.
Even yesterday, I think when he hit the penalty, scored, he went to celebrate, fell over, picked the ball up, fell over again, dropped the ball. It was just shambolic.
He just keeps falling over, yeah. And it's just so many bad things have happened for him recently while playing for Sunderland that I just think that missing another penalty, I reckon that would have really shot his confidence. I mean, I know he's a veteran winger and he's had quite a very prestigious career.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
I think that kind of mentality affects anyone, really, and I think that really would have done him in. But
so what's the answer?
The answer?
Getting rid of Jack Ross, is that the answer?
I think it is the answer. I think he's had his time to prove the doubters wrong, and I think people like myself have stood by him through perhaps a lot of the very justifiable criticism. I think many times he's put out a game plan that hasn't worked, and he seldom changes things fundamentally to put us in the right direction.
In Sunderland manager context, he's been here forever.
He has. Oh, yeah. He's like, I mean, what, a year and a half? That's like a decade in advocate years, isn't it?
20 years, isn't it?
It's mental.
So if we get rid of Jack Ross, we have to get somebody accomplished in. We can't keep going for people who have nothing on their CV. But then you get the rumours of Sam Allardyce and you get the rumours of Chris Hughton, and you just think,
would you have either of those two?
I'd welcome anybody at the moment who has anything on the CV which is remotely decent. Not that I'm slagging Jack Ross off. I really like the bloke, and I think he has. Probably he'll go and leave Sunderland and end up winning the title with Man United or something. It's just what will happen. It's Sunderland, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's what we do.
Do you not think you'll probably go to a club that's maybe round about our level currently, where there's less of an expectation, and because that's the case, he'll do a lot better?
Yeah, probably. Or he'll end up back in the Scottish Premier League, which is probably more likely, as we'll swap him for Paul Heckingbottom.
Hey, I mean, Paul Heckingbottom, I don't think will be a terrible shout. But
he's done a good job at Barnsley, didn't he?
Yeah, he wouldn't be who I would go for. I mean, does anyone? I mean, I've got quite a novel idea, but does anyone spring to your mind before I divulge that one?
I'd give Paul Hurst another crack.
Paul Hurst,
Shrewsbury lad. I don't know where he is now.
No, I might give that a Google. I don't know.
Has he got a job?
While I Google, for the sake of making this efficient, tell me why you would choose Paul Hurst.
The Shrewsbury side he had were playing exceptional football, very attacking. 3 at the back. That's all I can really come out with. They were winning games. It's a Shrewsbury town, by the way. They've not got the greatest of reputations, especially at League One level. League Two, perhaps. They're a very winning side. But
he's at Scunthorpe.
He's at Scunthorpe.
Yeah.
How is he doing?
That would require a more thorough Google, to be honest, and I don't know if I can
completely destroyed my dreams. You've destroyed my dreams, because he's not going to leave Scunthorpe, a team with that word in the name, to come here.
Well, I mean, in fairness, if you could probably lure him away from League Two to League One.
But it's the mighty Scunthorpe, you do realise. It's closer to that there London as well, so yeah. Could get Pardew in. Yeah, that shocked you, didn't it?
Oh, right, yeah, I didn't know what you said there. I don't know. I just I feel like my brain deliberately wouldn't process that noise you just made.
Can you imagine?
I don't know what I'd do if I got Alan Pardew. I don't know how I'd feel about it. I mean, obviously this is an entirely hypothetical question, folks. We're not going to get Alan Pardew.
Yeah. Oh, Jurgen Klopp when the Dell lads come in.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, but that's once the Dell lads come in. But I mean,
they're already
obviously,
here, man. Have you not seen Company's House? They're already here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I mean, once we start seeing the money, then we'll have a different roster of managers to pick from. But for now, I'm going to run this idea by you, Anth, and to the listeners. Gareth Ainsworth. Now, hear me out, right? Gareth Ainsworth. Okay, the tricky part from the get-go would be luring him away from Wickham. And I know that sounds daft, but he's spent a lot of his career there, and he's been a manager since 2012 at Wickham, so he's been there a long time.
Yeah.
I think at one point he's even player manager, so he's had a very lengthy spell with that club.
I think he was at Wimbledon first, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Did he play for Wimbledon?
He played for Wimbledon, as in like old Wimbledon.
Yeah, like proper Wimbledon, not MK Dons Wimbledon.
Yeah, pre-dissolution Wimbledon he played for, and then he went to Wickham afterward. I think that's pretty much Ainsworth from then till now, and he's another manager who doesn't have a lot of prestige at a higher level.
Yeah,
which is going to likely be where most of our candidates will be there and thereabouts, League One or equivalent standard, much like how Jack Ross was the Scottish Championship with St Mirren. But then you got Ainsworth, and he won promotion from League Two with Wickham only a few seasons ago, and from there, obviously they're in League One now, and
taking steps to build.
The building, they're on what is very much an upward trajectory.
Yeah, but how long will it take them to have an upward trajectory here? Because you know what our fans are like. As soon as you lose your first game, it's this lad doesn't work.
That's going to happen, and it's one of those things where it's not a good thing to have that restlessness in the fan base, but it can't be helped, because what our fan base has been served season upon season is just garbage. We've had 2 relegations on the bounce not too long ago. We had season after season of barely surviving relegation, seeing far more losses than wins or draws.
But win the playoff final last season.
Well, when they were playoff final, which we lost, and before that, win the Secretary, which we lost as well. So we've seen.
Did not realise that was Wembley's fault and not ours.
Well, we've been there thrice and lost all 3 times. If you look at Sunderland's track record of significant fixtures and seasons, everything has us as the team on the business end. We just seem to be suffering perpetually, season upon season.
Yeah, we've got people like Chris Sutton coming out in the BBC saying that we are the biggest sleeping giant in the country. That the biggest underachievers, I think he put
That's
it.
what Kieran Brady said as well.
Yeah, we are the largest. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I listened to that as well. But he is the largest. We are the largest underachievers in the country ever. And when you look back at it, it can't be that far wrong. Even if we're not, we can't.
Even
be that
is
far
Chris Sutton saying it?
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, I quote Brady with the same example.
Absolutely, yeah. He's more eloquent, isn't he?
Yeah, certainly, definitely.
Tones of Chris
Sutton, yeah. But no, the point stands, and I think one of the main issues of Ross's tenure has been that we're being very polite with a lot of teams. You know, so much so that it's almost submissive the way we play sometimes. That we set up defensively away from home, and then we do just seem to play for this vain goal of getting a clean sheet.
It's more of the goal of keeping possession. It's like he goes home and looks at the stats and thinks,
"Oh yeah, 61%.
We've won possession."
Yeah,
that's what it's like the old mag term, isn't it?
Yeah.
When we beat them 3-0, it's still but we had more possession.
We had more corners. Yeah, that was
it.
Yeah,
the false win. It's like, what is going on? But it's kind of how Jack Ross seems to see things. Whether he's too analytical with things. Maybe he looks at things too much, and what you need to do is just get a bunch of lads who are going to elbow people through the face. Get out there, just fight for something. Go out there.
Well, that's precisely it, and that's precisely why I'd have Ainsworth. Ross is far too focused on this conservative brand of football that focuses on trying to get a clean sheet, but ultimately, never have we seen him obliterate a team here, and we have the players to do that. If we had the mindset, there was at least one team by now in the past 2 seasons that we could have beaten 6-0. At least
Absolutely,
one. Because there are some terrible teams in this division. I'm not wrong by saying that. And Gareth Ainsworth is an absolutely ruthless bloke.
Now, I'll take Gareth Ainsworth if he brings Akinfenwa with him.
Oh,
that's it.
I honestly, what I would give to see that. I reckon, like all jokes aside, that'd be an all right signing.
I don't even want him to play. I just want him to be there.
Just kind of like mascot.
Just in the change. Imagine him in the changing room and you haven't performed well, and he just walks in.
Stood there on Ainsworth's right with his arms folded, just like glaring at everyone.
Can you see Max Power fighting back?
No,
probably not.
Absolutely not.
Nyan. As much as I love the lad, he's not going to go out there. He's not going to go all guns blazing at Akinfenwa, is he?
No. Well, when he played with him at Wickham, so he probably knows that himself, doesn't he?
Fair enough. That's why he ran away, isn't it?
He was never signed. We found him. We found him trembling in a street corner. I was like, come on, Luke, you can come play for us.
Paid his taxi fare up, going all Quinny.
But no, honestly, what we need in that team is just less politeness, and we need just more. When we played Wickham, we spoke at length of how much we hated that brand of football. But ultimately, Ainsworth, one way or another, will win a game when he has the resources. If he has a team with our quality, then we can have good games where we'll batter teams, because he would set up for the sole purpose of what we set up for, and that's to win if we're playing a bad team. Whichever one it may be, whether or not if we're playing a good team and we'll play badly, or both, then I think he's someone who could grind out a win against the odds.
Looking at his current form with Wickham, I think you're absolutely right with that. It's just that Sunderland fans, I think, I'll speak for them all 48,000 of us.
Of course.
That's all we've got. But I speak for them all there when I say that. I think he would have to hit the ground running. Because if he had 6 games, I don't know, say we drew 3 of them ones apiece. We all start crying going home. If we drew 1-1 again under Gareth Ainsworth, I think we'd just all...
Oh yeah, the pitchforks would have been put away and then brought right back out the shed.
I think we'd all quit football. I think that would be it. I think we'd just turn to rugby or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's never been my thing, rugby, but I turn to something.
I am going to pretend that I know exactly what's going on in rugby.
Yeah, I think something happened this morning, but I don't know what. Like, I don't follow it enough.
Nah,
I think something about Scotland.
Egg chasing.
Egg chasing, yeah. I don't know.
It's not for me.
If I wanted to chase eggs, I'd get a spoon and do a race. Yeah. I don't know what joke I was getting at there. Egg and spoon race?
Egg and spoon race.
Was that the joke I was making?
That was a thing, isn't it? That was a thing.
That was a thing, yeah.
Back in primary school, remember that?
Yeah. That was a thing. Once I remember someone glued their egg to their spoon when I was in primary school, and they won.
I'd be
And
absolutely...
they got found out for cheating.
Oh, well, I hope they got drug tested.
Drug tested?
And I hope the hard drive got checked as well.
Crikey.
Because that is horrific.
I mean, it's not great.
That's like polishing your conkers and playing conkers. That's what that's like.
Mm-hmm. That is it. It's you know what it is. It's like it's match fixing at the most juvenile level. But
I'm more angry now, having heard that, than I was when I walked in here.
Yeah.
That's
and you've not been happy at any point today.
I'm still crying.
No. Yeah. Yeah, for those who obviously, I mean, this is an audio-based platform, but I assure you that Anthony's across from me. Teas have been streaming from the get-go.
Streaming?
All of the jokes and the japes that he's made, they've all just been to mask the man himself, who's wallowing in self-pity.
Withered in a corner, just crying.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about...
talk about Rotherham?
Yeah, I was just about to say, should we talk about Rotherham? Yeah.
Full-on excitement when we went out there. Yeah, the first 30 minutes. Can we talk about them?
Yeah, let's talk about the half an hour at Rotherham where football felt really, really good.
It was outstanding, wasn't it?
It's like a lifetime ago.
120 minutes of football ago, and we were outstanding for 30 minutes.
I know. It's unreal, isn't it?
We were incredible.
Yeah, you had Big Prince Alim, and 30 seconds gone, he's hitting that ball over the top.
What a pass.
McNulty runs on, he's probably offside, let's be perfectly honest, in League One.
Let's not worry about that.
Let's not worry about that. No, he brings it down with a lovely first touch, takes it away from the keeper.
Different sort of stealing. So, the stealing yesterday is completely different to that sort of thievery.
Yeah.
Because it's Rotherham.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, no, because Rotherham weren't sort of staring into the void of administration.
Relegated last year they were, so we're looking at rivals, so we can steal goals against them and cheat all day. I don't mind.
Rotherham was sooner in a high division than we were. If you're looking at recent history.
Absolutely.
Actually, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
But ultimately, no. I mean, McNulty did great there, didn't he? Ball comes over from Ozturk, brings it down. Lovely. I mean, obviously, we'll ignore the whole thing about him being potentially offside. He brings it down with a lovely first touch, takes it away from the keeper in one fluid motion, and then pokes it home for 1-0. Did we miss McNulty against Bolton?
Yes, 100%. The energy that he brings is so it's so not Greg and it's not Wyke. It's just energy.
It's something very unique to himself that we didn't have before him.
He's absolutely not. We haven't had that for a long time up front. Full of energy, and he's every defender's worst nightmare. He runs at them. He runs away from them. He's running he just constantly runs. And I've got a pound on him to score 30 plus this season.
Right.
So
craggy.
So
what's the return on that?
200 to 1.
I mean, if it comes off, you're laughing.
Absolutely, 200 quid.
You've only got 28 to go, right?
28. Yeah, he's got 2.
Yeah.
You've got to mark my words.
Was that a pun?
Probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it can be if the shoe fits, then you may as well wear it. I suppose it's one of those things, isn't it?
Yes. So I'm not going to air my gambling issues anymore.
No, but to bring the note perhaps back to a more negative one, though, I think the one issue that's probably going to be affecting that bet of yours coming in is his injury record. Because while he's been playing, he's played very, very well, but he keeps picking up these knocks, doesn't he?
He will have a run of 40 games where he scores 3 in every one of them, so don't worry about it. We've got nothing to panic about. Jack Ross will get the best out of him.
What, in the next 5 minutes he's got at the club?
He'll be here forever.
Oh.
I will eat my hat if Jack Ross has gone this week.
I don't think that'll happen, to be honest with you. I don't think he'll go this week, but I think
even by the end of the month or by the end of the January transfer window, I think.
You think he's got that long?
I think he's in for the long haul. Not that that's a popular opinion, and it's not my particular utopia. But I think Stuart Donald's pretty much cemented in his ways, and he thinks that he is definitely the man to take him forward. Jack Ross must have the voice of an angel or something just to keep Stuart Donald thinking that I am the man for this job. Keep drawing ones apiece. We haven't lost, have we? Is it a lose? Have we lost? We've only lost against Peterborough. It's not a dreadful record, is it? But then you put it in the context of the games that we have drawn, and it's them dreary 1-1s that we generally don't deserve to win because we've sat off.
That's the thing as well. If you look back at Ross's tenure so far, how many of those 1-1s were we the worst team in those games? I mean, obviously there's Bolton yesterday where we were definitely the worst team. Ipswich early this season we were worse. Oxford we were worse.
Oh, Ipswich there, that was the worst first half of football I have ever seen us play.
Well, absolutely diabolical.
It was like watching a Sunday League team trying to go out against a Premier League team. It was horrific. It's the worst thing I've seen.
I don't think Ross understands as well, nor do I think he's ever understood that just because you've chosen one formation doesn't mean you have to play that formation every single game.
My argument is that he started 3-4-3 against Oxford. The first game of the season started 3-4-3 against Oxford. I mentioned this on the previous pod. And we looked, for the first 9 minutes before Oxford scored, we looked like we were going to score. It was it. He'd gone 2 attacking. We'd flunked it. Dobson plays the ball. I think it was Dobson that played the ball to their kid.
That was McLaughlin.
No, McGeoch.
Was one of them.
That was somebody. Somebody passed the ball to somebody else, and he put the ball in the back of the net, Oxford lad. And then he changed formation immediately, and we didn't look like doing anything for the rest of that game, and somehow we came out with something. It was just the same thing week in, week out. And like I say, everyone will vouch for it that I've fought Jack Ross's case on my Twitter for weeks on end, and people ridiculing us for such a thing, and then we end up with the result like yesterday, and I just thought everybody was right and I was wrong yesterday. It's sort of everything went ultimately pear-shaped for me.
I fought his corner and have done, like I said, until yesterday. But once you started, from my point of view, once I began to accept that a lot of the things that Ross has been doing have been what has led many people to turn against him, as soon as you sort of accept that the notion that, yes, he could be doing a very bad job here, a lot of other things do start to make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And what you said earlier about how Ross is just too analytic for his own good, that couldn't be any truer than the evidence he's presented us with regards to that. I think Ross associates having an identity in football with playing a certain formation.
Yeah.
And that would be a very analytical approach to how to build an identity, in quotation marks. An identity, not to get too philosophical, but it's an immaterial thing.
Yeah.
It's an ethos that's circulating within the club and around the club.
It's essentially something created for the media to talk about, isn't
yes,
it?
It is. It's not whether or not you play 3-5-2 or 4-4-2. It's about something a lot more ethical and a lot deeper than just that. But when I watch Ross put a team out, he just seems to persist with the exact same thing week in, week out, until he's presented with literally only when he's got no other choice but to switch. Does he switch?
What is our identity?
I don't know. Play
for
crap and
for
draw.
the record, Alex shrugged his shoulders. That's not really that good for a voice.
No. Well, I've never claimed to be an expert on footballing matters, but. And again, I need to air all of my frustrations about Ross that hitherto have gone totally, undisturbed and dormant, but only now are they coming to the surface. You look at yesterday in his post-match interview, and he's talking about how it was a shame he couldn't get the clean sheet. Now, look, Rotherham beat them 6-1. Did they keep a clean sheet? No. So what do they do instead, Ross? They scored 6 goals.
Yeah.
So we've come away from a game where we've played horribly, where we have been lucky to scrape a point as is, and your only concern is we should have kept a clean sheet. Now, that to me is a man who isn't concerned about scoring, he's concerned about not conceding. Ergo, he is a man who focuses on not on winning, but on not losing.
Not losing, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
And that is not the mentality of any manager who gets anyone promoted from anywhere.
Are there any positives from yesterday?
No.
None at all?
Absolutely none. We were absolutely diabolical.
Do you think that it could have been Bolton picking up the pace, being able to gel a little bit more, and they're thinking that?
Well,
I'm playing devil's advocate. I don't believe this.
No, honestly, I mean, I think compared to where they were at the start of the season, I think they're getting their act together.
Yeah.
But they're still a very vulnerable team.
They didn't play Daryl Murphy, also we would have got beat.
Well, I was about to say that. There's your positive. If they'd played Murphy, they would have absolutely battered us.
Yeah, 4-1.
Because I think he would have picked up Flanagan and hoid him about like a dog toy.
Flanagan. How does he keep it in played?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Mm-hmm. Why is Baldwin, a question for you, Month, why is Baldwin in Salford and why is Flanagan the man whose brain and legs operate in a completely different way? Why is he still here?
I mean, I don't mind the lad. I think he's probably a really nice bloke, but he doesn't appear to be a defender. He doesn't appear to be a footballer. It's odd. I mean,
he looked like he learned to walk about 20 minutes before he walked onto the pitch.
Yes, he did. Yeah,
it's like you know those like robots that like Apple have been like trialing where like they try and push them over and like the stumble to stay up.
But they get back up. Oh yeah.
That's Flanagan. That's what Flanagan reminds me of.
That's probably more truer than my Bambi analogy I was going to use.
Well, I mean, they both work ultimately, don't they?
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to be positive. I'm desperate to find something to pick something that was like that was good, wasn't it? There's nothing, is there?
No.
I'm not a doom monger. Everyone will tell you that I'm probably the most happy clappiest of people. I'll go out there and I'll back Sunderland to the hilt regardless.
You'll clap
of results.
happily.
I'll clap all day. For no reason. I would applaud me dog rolling over on its belly. I'll do anything.
You're the kind of bloke who says thank you to the cash machine when it takes your money out.
That's exactly what. Yes, I am. I do that all of the time. I always thank the bus driver.
Yeah.
Bit of an inside joke.
Hey.
But I always feel that teams can have an off day. We did yesterday. Now, do we come back against
Sheffield United in the Cup away?
We have got Sheffield United in the Cup away. Ignore everything I've just said.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in the true Sunderland fashion, we'll go out there and we'll pummel them 4-1. It's just what we do, isn't it? It's draw against the teams like Bolton and the ilk, and then we go out and we play against Burnley and hammer them 3-1.
I reckon we'll defo go there on Wednesday and just win 2-1. That's just for the crack.
Jack Ross will be in the job for another 3 weeks after that, and then, well, what were we worrying about? And then we go on, we'll paste everybody 3-0 week in, week out, and we'll look back on this and we'll think, what were we worried about? It was just a good Bolton side.
Just a good. Bolton haven't got a side, let alone a good Bolton side. They've got 8. They were playing 8 senior players. Honestly, I appreciate the positivity, and I genuinely admire it. Like I would be inspired if I wasn't still gutted over the game. But if anyone, I am baffled that any possible semblance of positivity can be taken from that game. Just everything about it was like an insult to me, myself as a fan, just watching it. Like, you got played off the park by Liam Bridcut. The job that Ledbetter should be doing was demonstrated to him by Liam Bridcut as he just pinged the ball around left, right, and John Mensah all game. I mean, fair play. I mean, okay, here's a positive. Will Buckley's still crap because he didn't do anything.
No, he didn't.
So there's still that, I
think Bolton's goalkeeper was exceptional.
I think he did well, yeah. Mind you, I think we'll probably made him look better by just swinging. We're swinging like tame but still goal-bound crosses, and he looked pretty good making acrobatic saves, which ultimately weren't that hard to make. I used to play in goal, so I can tell. Even
I'm still a goalkeeper.
All right, well, you're probably better than I, so it's fair enough.
I've been a goalkeeper since I was born.
Right.
I've been 6'7".
Well, there you go. Not got much of a choice, really, have you?
No, not really. I'm still crap. Well, no one cares. I think I'm at a loss. How long do you think Jack Ross has got? I know we've beat around the bush. Let's have an answer. How long has he got?
I think if he scuppers anything against MK Dons on Saturday, then
you think he's got after Sheffield United?
Honestly, I think they'll give him the benefit of this week. But I think I'll tell you what it is though. I think he's probably very aware now that everyone is against him. Now he had his detractors and he's had them all season, but they were, I think, overall a vocal minority.
The fans
they have trebled in numbers after yesterday's game.
Everybody was after him, wasn't they? Yesterday, the whole. I mean, I wasn't there. You were. And I'd imagine that the entire crowd was shouting, "I don't know what you're doing."
Yeah. Oh no, Sacked in the Morning was being chanted on about 60 minutes.
No,
You don't know what you're doing when he brought it off.
And was that the whole crowd, or was that...
That was a large portion of them,
everyone.
and it wasn't good.
And our away following it, I mean, the club has a lot of negatives, but our away following is magnificent, isn't it?
It's absolutely fantastic. And if honestly, if those fans want to chant that, then ultimately they're entitled to do that.
Paid the money, they've gone down there.
Yeah, then they've watched some absolute tripe presented to them. So if you want to say that, then go for it.
I didn't watch the press conference. What did Ross come out with?
Well, the opening line was, "It's a shame we couldn't keep a clean sheet."
Well, yeah, and that was it. Just essentially,
I read that much of it and looked away.
Yeah, I've read it all 4 times and it hasn't sunk in because of that. We didn't keep it clean.
I'm pretty sure at some point you referred to the goal we scored as a reward or something like that. It was something stupid he said.
I mean, you look at the stats. You don't watch the game. You look at the stats yesterday. And it looks like we have absolutely battered them and been really unfortunate to come out with a draw.
Well, let's have a look.
I think we had 28 shots.
Yeah, we had 20 shots, 5 on target. Well, 20 shots and 5 of those were on target.
5.
Bolton had 7 with 2 on target. We had 61% possession.
Get in.
We had 76% pass accuracy to their 62%.
See, Jack Russell will be overjoyed with
9 corners. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the stats.
But then you look at the game and you know that we didn't deserve that.
No, because Ross focuses primarily on what we've said there, on
passing the ball, sideways,
passing the ball,
keeping the position,
keeping the ball around and looking for an opening. It's almost like it's almost like a Dower take on Tiki Taka. Like it's just that's what it is to me.
Don't. I'm depressed again.
I think a lot of what Ross has done has been something between. Well, I think is. Ross tries to play quite a sophisticated brand of football in a division where sophisticated brands of football are non-existent.
Unless you watch Rochdale.
Apparently, what's Rochdale? Barring a few weird anomalies.
But Rochdale are not top of the table, so it doesn't work all the time.
Well, clearly not, no. Ross seems to play a very cautious brand of football where we'll pass around and we invite pressure from the opposition in the hopes that when we get it forward, we can string a few things together and get a goal. And that works, I would say, about a quarter of the time. We have clinical forward players. So if we do pass the ball around further down the park and wait for an opening, then we do have players which can capitalise. But ultimately, it comes back to the whole expected goals thing. But if you're doing that just but if that's just coming off, if and when you can see an opening, then, it's just, you're going to score scarcely. And while the stats might flatter you, the scoreline won't. And there's only one stat that matters, and that's the one here that says Bolton 1, and then Sunderland have a 1 as well next to them.
Yeah, somehow.
That's the only one that matters. The rest of them are completely meaningless in the grand scheme of things.
Yes.
But if we had a manager who played a system that were just relentless, that just got forward by any means necessary, got balls into the box by any means, and had strikers who were just doing their own thing and getting the goals the way they naturally get them, would do brilliantly. I mean, if we allowed ourselves to play to Grig's strengths rather than just darting the ball around, and then every now and then we'll hoof it in if we've got no more options, and then it'll get knocked away because he's 5'10".
Yeah. Do you think we underestimated them yesterday?
Do
you just think it was lackadaisical? Do you think it was just a?
I just think we weren't very good. To be honest with you.
I'd agree with that completely. I'd say we aren't the sum of our parts. We are nowhere near that, and I think if we can get anywhere near the sum of our parts, we'll be back up at the top again. But being negative again, I don't think we're going to ever get there under Jack Ross.
No. I mean, a team that's going for an 100-point season or anywhere in the top 2 is not going to draw 1-1 with
We're still going to get 100 points in. It's still going to happen.
Is it even still mathematically possible to get 100
imagine
points?
Not, or close enough.
Well, I mean, we're certainly narrowing the margins with every 1-1, aren't we?
Let's go into Sheffield United. Let's think we're not going to win, and let's hammer them 3-1.
Yeah.
That'll happen. Just watch this space. Sheffield United will underestimate us. They'll play a completely fringe 11, looking at it thinking, they've just drew with the mighty Bolton. And they're going to play an understrength squad. We'll play a relatively strong side, maybe
a bit like what Burnley did.
Perhaps a bit Kimpioka somewhere, or just some of the 1 or 2 of the kids in. They'll show the lads how to be a bit more dedicated to the job, and we'll beat Sheffield United. Watch this bit. We're going to beat Sheffield United. Everybody lump on it.
Well, bet en masse on us to beat Sheffield United 2-1.
Yes.
Hey, I mean, I wouldn't even be remotely surprised if Sunderland did do that, because that's what Sunderland have been known to do.
It really is. It's so depressing.
But if we're going to look ahead, I think as the final part for today, let's look ahead to the MK Dons game.
Yes, let's do
Now,
that.
there is a lot on Ross here. Presuming, and I think you will, because I've not heard from anywhere otherwise.
Check Twitter in case he's been sacked.
Yeah, I'll do that in the time being. But yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot
Nothing
on Ross
online.
now, and if there's ever a time to make a wholesale change to his philosophy, to his lineup, it's got to be now, and he's got to pull something out the bag here, because it's gonna take him, if he wants to even attempt to win the fans back, it's got to start on Saturday, and it's got to start with a very convincing 3 points against MK Dons. Will he do it?
No.
I agree.
I think we'll probably eke out a 2-1 or a 1-1. I think we're not going to... I don't think we'll
He's
capitulate.
been sacked.
He has?
No, I'm joking.
Knobhead. I was going to start crying there.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, where was I? Yeah, MK Dons. Yeah, I think we'll, when he gets if he keeps his job, if we have no attacking output and we're defensive like we were against Bolton, then we've got Ledbetter and Power passing the ball backwards to Flanagan and Ozturk or whoever's there. I think he can say goodbye to his job. I think the fans have had enough. Now it's pretty much everyone.
It's almost unanimous.
And Jack Ross has proven them all right with every passing game that goes. And I honestly, we all love Sunderland. We wouldn't do this otherwise. If I just pray that we win the next game and just keep winning. Even if we get scrappy 2-1 wins, I don't care. Just keep winning. Turgid football doesn't matter if we get the result in the end.
Ultimately, teams have gone up from this division last season, the season before, whenever. And a lot of those teams will have won games, by either really tight margins or just by not playing well. And that's a fairly normal occurrence. I bet Luton and Barnsley last season, there were loads of games where they scraped a win where they might not have deserved it against a much poorer team. But that's the nature of League One.
But now you've got them in the Championship, and look where they are now. Luton are fourth bottom, I think. Barnsley aren't very far off that, if not further down.
But Charlton are doing well.
Charlton are doing really well, but that's an anomaly. That's something that I don't think any of us will focus on for much longer, because I think they'll probably fall off soon. That's if the momentum stops eventually.
Well, it might make us feel better, I suppose, but ultimately
nothing will.
No.
I think if we got promoted now, I was watching West Brom Huddersfield before we got here. Huddersfield rock bottom. West Brom Huddersfield would paste us on that performance today. We would get absolutely drubbed at 7-0. There is no doubt about it. They were attacking. They had, and they were nowhere near Fulham, nowhere near them, and they would still give us an absolute drubbing. We have a lot of work to do if we're going to get promoted from this division, and then build on that to do something in the Championship.
We've got to traverse the gulf of quality from League One to the Championship, even if you do go up.
Yes.
We're just a long way away from where we need to be. And given how we're playing at the moment, anything above League One feels like a million miles away.
And whenever we build momentum, we manage to completely stop that. It's like we slap a brick wall directly in front of us.
You know what it's like? It's like you've given that momentum that you talk of there to Ledbetter.
Yeah.
He's received it, and he's put it sideways to McLaughlin.
Yeah, that's exactly
John O'Connor, don't know which one. Could be either, you never know. But it's just, I don't know how many times I've begun a sentence on this pod by saying it's just, and then looking for the words to articulate how I feel. But at the end of the day, it's just,
I find myself sinking.
I feel like I am. What he has to do at MK Dons, he's got to drop Ledbetter and put anyone who's got more mobility about them in his place. He's got to drop McGeady, because McGeady's just frustrating everyone at the moment. He's got to put somebody there who's just fresher in that position, who could give us something a bit different. Just so I'm not watching McGeady fall over again on the wing.
He needs to change his boots.
He's got to do something. I don't know what he's doing, but he needs a break, because he's just been irritating everyone recently. And I don't care that he scored a penalty. I don't care that he scored. It was a meaningless goal in my eyes. That's I don't care that you got a point from that game. It's as good as a loss.
What if that point gets us promoted?
It'd be absolutely hilarious. But you know what I mean. But maybe on the
look back on this and say, if we hadn't scored that penalty against Bolton in that wonderful 1-1 draw that we had, that's something to look forward to.
We're going to be all right. We're not even going to look, it's not even going to come down to that final margin, because Gareth Ainsworth Sunderland are going to absolutely tear this division to bits.
Alan Pardew Sunderland will definitely.
Alan Pardew Sunderland don't exist. That's not a thing. Gareth Ainsworth Sunderland is not only plausible, but it will be good.
Is it wrong to want somebody to dance on the sideline? Is that so wrong?
Ainsworth can do that.
Can he? I think he's too much of the crazy guy.
No, he looks a bit like he could do that. I mean, he's got that that weedy stepdad look that Pardew's got. Ainsworth has got that about him.
That'll do me. That's fine. I'll let him off with that. As long as he tells dad jokes at the end as well.
He'd tell dad jokes, but he'd tell inappropriate dad jokes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And he just he definitely has
he's definitely met Vinnie Jones before, so he's hard as well.
He's not got a laugh. He's got a snigger. He's not a laugher. He just he's got an awful wheezy little laugh, like Pardew would.
Can we be bothered with that in the press?
I'd have him. You know what it is though, right? Because if I hear him chuckle at the demise of a team where he's like, if we finish a game, right, and we've just beaten, let's throw a dart at the map. He's beaten AFC Wimbledon 4-0 away, right? We've just injured 2 of their players. We've got 1 red card ourselves. You've got
which was match power.
Yeah, you've got McNulty, Grigg, and a Akinfenwa brace, right? And he's there, and he's like, Gareth, do you think that behaviour was appropriate here? And he's like, couldn't care less, lads. Just bad them for going up, lads. I'd be like, you know what? I'd follow Gareth to hell and back if he did that.
So you're a big fan of Gareth Ainsworth?
Hey, no, I'm very aware now that that's what we need. We've had Ross's conservative, possession-based football where we maybe sneak the odd chance here and there, and we use about 1/10 of our strikers and attacking players' potential. If we had Ainsworth now, if you put him in the cockpit now, he's got so much to work with, and he has just got such an awful demeanour in football that it would complement our situation perfectly.
What we need is a dickhead.
We need an anti-hero, and we need him right now.
Roy Keane doesn't have a job.
No, he does. He's
Sky Sports now, isn't he? That's not a job.
Sky.
It's not a job.
It's not, to be fair.
Gary Neville left to go to Valencia.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, he's contractually obliged to his new duties, but I'm sure we could.
I would marry Roy Keane tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking here with Paul Hurst's. I was going to click on a Gareth Ainsworth's wiki. Paul Hurst is 5'5".
Massive.
Yeah, big man.
Oh my God.
I mean, of course, I'm absolutely. There's.
You'll be overjoyed. You might be like an inch taller.
Yeah, I know. I've never had that before. Hey, I'm pretty much. I mean, I felt quite at home here. All 5'8" players would say height as them. It's like, that's like that. They're like me. Even I can be a footballer.
If only we had 5 Charlie Wykes.
Yeah.
Just people who want the football. Do you think Chris Hughton's a good shout, or do you think we haven't got a chance?
I just think a championship club will get him.
I agree. Yeah.
I think he would look higher than us, which is an awful thing to say.
Although Klopp will do. I don't ask for much. It'd be all right. Yeah, I can deal with Klopp.
He'd do a job until we got someone better in. I think.
We don't win the Champions League in 4 years, and he's out.
Well, that's shocking, really. I think if we bring Klopp in now, we need a 5-year plan to win the Champions League.
I wish I was here for the takeover pod that caused all the hassle.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. It was good.
Oh, yeah, that was, I had a cat in the bag, and did I let it out? Better believe I did. I actually know what it is, though, right? I wasn't even I'm not in the know, nor am I ever in the know. I don't know anything that other people don't know.
You just
I just said that wrong. Honestly, I meant to say that the takeover could be being announced. What I meant to imply was possibility, but what I said was certainly. I said it's been announced. So I got my tense and my tone completely wrong there.
Ladies and gentlemen of Sunderland, that is an apology from Alex McQueen.
Yeah, that's my it's my grandstand apology to the people of Sunderland.
Oh wait, the people of Sunderland, the fans of Sunderland, because
the fans of Sunderland.
We do have a lot of Sunderland fans.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, according to you, 48,000.
40. That's all we've got.
That's all we've got.
That's all we've got. No queues outside of the Gallagher or nothing.
None of that. No.
Shame, they didn't win yesterday. Newcastle didn't win yesterday.
That's all right. That's okay.
Can we all celebrate? That's it.
The Mags have not won, and that's okay, then, isn't it?
Didn't deserve a draw either, did they?
Yeah.
Terrific.
To be honest, right, we were coming back from the match, and my mate put that on the radio on the way back, and I was like, don't put that on, right, because...
the win 1-0.
No, because if they win, it's like the final insult. Obviously a Sunderland result always takes priority over the Mags result, but
easy.
But ultimately, if they were winning, I'd be like, I'll turn that off now.
Yeah.
But yeah, look. Anyway, I'm looking at Ainsworth's Wikipedia, right? Management style. Ainsworth is a very attack-minded manager and likes teams to play aggressively and with a high press.
I just wanted
Tell me that's not what we need.
I just wanted to see Gareth Ainsworth is a knobhead or something, just is an angry man. Gareth Ainsworth is a dangerous fellow. That's all I want to hear is just like somebody that somebody's scared of and just go there and
he is a dangerous fellow.
be a role model.
Yeah, be something.
Get Vinnie Jones in as assistant manager. Job done. We're laughing. Gone in 60 seconds. Just don't let him talk to people.
I don't know what you mean by job done. I don't know what the job in question you're thinking of is, but I'm sure something would get done.
I'd imagine it's not legal.
No, probably not. Didn't sound very legal. I think we can probably bring that to a close around about there, really. If you want to give us
Sean. Yeah, get that.
If you want to give us a quick prediction, and for the... Give us what you think the score will be for the Sheffield United and the MK Dons game, and then give me your scorers, and I'll give you mine, and then we'll finish it there.
Jack Ross's Sunderland will beat Sheffield United 2-1.
Mm-hmm. Who's going to score?
Oh, dear. Gooch 2.
Gooch 2?
Yeah, Gooch 2.
Brilliant. What about MK Dons?
McDon's, I think we'll go out turgid again. I think 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1 just because if Jack Ross is still in charge, 1-1. If Jack Ross is not in charge, we'll probably hammer them 7-0 or something. Although we're saying that with the antithesis of any football club, aren't we? So every time we get a manager, we don't get a new manager bounce. We get a new manager drop. Yeah. And it's always happened at Sunderland. We've never had like...
We've not got the Mags to play in the second game anymore.
Imagine we had them to play next week. Couldn't even...
Would win?
Oh, disagree.
No, I don't. I think we'll be all right. I think we'll bat them.
They've got that massive Englishman up front of the Joe Ellington.
Stop. A large English man.
Joe Ellington.
Yeah, Joe Ellington.
Joe Ellington.
That's his name.
The other lad, Andy Carroll.
Andy Carroll, yeah.
Would get pummeled. There was no way Flanagan could deal with the shit.
Flanagan, but you know what is the right? Flanagan would actually just for the crack, he'd pocket him all game.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what it is? In true Sunderland fashion.
Yeah. He'd pocket him and they'd score.
He would be man of the match. Yeah. He'd probably score 3.
Would win 1-0. We got our first clean sheet of the season via a 45-yard goal from Alan Ozturk. Just something ridiculous.
I'm totally on for that. I'd vote for that.
Yeah. I don't know where we've gone with this, Anth.
I'm losing the will to live, I think.
I think insanity's kicked in the ROKER Report studio.
It's the two-man job. Normally we've got two people.
Exactly. Yeah, the two-man job was a bad idea.
That was not. We have blown this out of the park. Our listeners.
It's like the League One version of it. It's like Atletico Mince this, but like worse.
Do you want us to do an impression of Peter Beardsley?
You're right, Bob. Actually, I mean, Beardsley's pretty bad taste at the moment, isn't he? But we'll go with it. So
I don't think it's in bad taste when you talk in Atletico Mince terms. It's in terrific taste.
Didn't have a great game watching the lads play Bolton.
We should probably get Andy Dawson in just for the crack. Massive lads fan, isn't he?
2-1-1 against Bolton. Didn't go, Bob. Good stare at the bus stop. All the people coming and going and coming and going. It wasn't a good game. Darryl Murphy didn't play, and that was good because he's always going to score against Darryl Murphy.
Peter, you got them fucking eggs on.
You joke of a man.
That's class.
You creepy little Doyle.
You creepy little bastard.
Oh no.
I love it. Sean, edit out, please.
Sean, edit that back in, please.
Do both. Edit it out and in. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, I don't know. Have a go at it.
Perhaps keep it in your own personal diary.
Archive. As if I'm sorry, but he already does. He has one of those. I know. I know Sean.
Oh, is he one of them?
Sean has an archive of sort of like little anecdote that never saw the light of day on the pod.
Imagine he's got a lot over everybody.
Oh, it honestly, it'd be like a Black Mirror episode if he cracked that open. Honestly, he'd. I
love Black Mirror.
I don't mind it.
I'd love to. Should we talk about telly?
Let's talk about telly.
Telly's class. Yeah. What did I watch the other day? And I thought, that was outstanding. That might have been Stranger Things, but I'm miles behind everyone else.
Was it Road Wars?
No, it wasn't Road Wars.
Was it Cash in the Attic?
Cash in the Attic. Wow.
Excellent show.
Oh my God.
Do you prefer Cash in the Attic or Antiques Roadshow?
No, what's it called? Homes Under the Hammer.
Homes Under the Hammer.
Dion Dublin, bringing it back to football. What a footballer Dion Dublin was. If we could bring back Dion Dublin 20 years and put him up front for something today, we would break records.
I think we've
got to go home. I think we've got to go home before we die.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen.
I kind of like Bargain Hunt. I think Bargain
Hunt. Wow, I can't stand that fella. The posh geezer with the bloody glasses and the tash and the
Wait, but I think as though he needs to be on there for that kind of show though, because
Tom.
Tom.
I've met the bugger.
Tom.
He's a dreadful person.
Is he?
That end bit where he makes everyone kick the air and say yes. Tom something. Tom dipshit.
I'm going to Google it.
Tom Widdicombe, Huddleston.
Tom
Hiddleston.
Tom Huddleston, that's him, isn't it?
Tom Huddleston is the
Oh,
guy.
no, he's called...
Tom Widdicombe.
He's called Tim.
Tim
Wonnacott.
See? How far away was I? Tim Wonnacott. That's what I said.
Far away.
Yes.
Timothy
Yes.
Wonnacott is an English
Imagine
Timothy
walking
Wonnacott.
out to that.
Is it? No.
Oh, that's our new walkout music.
Well, the theme to Bargain Hunt.
Out to me. Does it fit with the club? I think it does.
Kind of, yeah.
Stuart Donald
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
He'd play that.
You know, you'd have like Jack Ross on, and then like the little sound effect goes, profit 1-1, and then that's it.
What were you saying about Tom Wonnacott?
Well, he is an English chartered auctioneer, chartered surveyor, antiques expert, and a television presenter. He was previously a director of Sotheby's, one of the world's oldest auction houses.
I knew about that.
Should we go?
No.
For that one, you know, for the next Roker
So we've
Report
got a Jarrett auction house. Oh, it's been burnt down.
Oh.
Let's not do that.
No, on the next Roker Report AGM 2, we're going to go to Sotheby's.
It's really posh, I think. Well, it's posh for me anyway. I'm from Penshire.
I'll have a look. It's based in New York, so it'll be a nice jaunt. Nice jaunt for the boys.
Based in New York.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's an incredibly posh place, if I recall correctly.
Aye.
God,
this absolutely gone to the dogs. This
I can go all day now. Talk about what have we got now?
Yeah, the issue
Cricket.
is-
Cricket's
cricket.
classic.
Don't like it. Sorry, that's where it cuts out. That's where we'll
The music comes on. That's it. Oh, bargain.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's going to be a bargain. I'd buy a back and Fenham on a free.
No, it can't be a free because we've got to pay him image
No,
rights.
no.
His image rights are worth a fortune.
That's true.
Beast mode.
Don't care.
I can't even say beast mode. I'm going to get charged now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just using that phrase at all, and it's a copyright infringement now.
He'd be stood outside now, ready to crack us.
Yeah.
I reckon he could bench me.
Yeah,
I'm a big lad.
He could bench me. He could bench you.
I could bench you.
He probably could bench me, actually. It's not that hard. I'm like 12 stone.
Yeah.
Quite easily benched.
I'm at least double you.
Yeah. Easily could be.
I'm
Let's be perfectly honest.
easily 22 stone.
Yeah.
Easily.
You are like the average League One defender, and I am Will Grigg. That's pretty much how it goes. If you were stood over me defending a corner, that's what Will Grigg feels like.
I would win a header.
I think you would.
100%.
I think you absolutely would. God, that defender was a big boy. Like
It is.
I'm looking at some photos of him now. Like he's a massive boy.
In my day job canteen, I was having a conversation with a gentleman who will remain nameless, but he said Akinfenwa was fat. Now, I would gladly have just made him. I'd have just took him down to see him.
I mean, he's got a bit of like a stomach protrusion, but that's not going to be fat. That's going to be like muscle.
I'm not even going to. I'm not talking about him anymore. I am terrified of the man.
Yeah, honestly, like on the off chance that we do get Gareth Ainsworth and
he has to follow him.
How good would that be getting him on the pod?
Just get him on the pod anyway. Regardless, he's had some career.
Just ask him. Just like, do you want to come on the pod?
He's had some career.
Yeah. I know you've had no.
As a director of football. Get him in.
What?
Bring him on.
Just to sign other massive meathead players.
Yeah, that's it. Why not?
Why not? Exactly.
Win the Premier League with meathead players.
Could be done.
Well,
It's not impossible.
we need to win League One first. But
You could win League One meathead players. If you had a whole team of Akinfenwas, you can win League One.
yes, you mentioned Baldwin at Salford. Did he play yesterday? And they got hammered off Crew 4-1, I think.
Did they? Great. Let's have a little look how he's doing. Jack, not Bauer.
Jack, 24. I'm going to watch all of them again.
Jack Baldwin. He's played 2 games for them. I don't know if he played yesterday. You know what?
He must have. He can only have been there for 2 games. Surely. Salford.
Fixtures.
Got a great skiing centre there. It's like the Manchester version of Silksworth.
I quite like skiing, mate. I like Silksworth. I live like just across the road from Silksworth. Well, not across the road. I live like down the road from Silksworth.
I live in Silksworth.
Ooh,
which is tasty.
it's nice. How they just got on Salford? Yeah, they did obviously bad off Crew. Who played? Where are you? Which one is this Salford? No, I didn't play.
No, well, it wasn't. Well, that's why they lost.
Yeah, he was. Was he on the bench? No, he wasn't anywhere. Where is he? Where is Jack Baldwin?
Just I feel really sorry for that lad.
Oh, tell you who did play though. Dean Whitehead.
Dean Whitehead.
No,
Legend.
sorry, no, that's wrong. Danny Whitehead.
Oh, it's the same. It's got to be the same
You
person.
said D Whitehead. Is that?
Can't be anyone else called
Gonna say-
Whitehead.
Is he related to Dean Whitehead?
No, based on Football Manager knowledge and the relationships where they say preferred players.
Yeah.
Danny Whitehead has never had Dean Whitehead.
You know what? That's what I use as well. I use that like a lot for like.
So once once it says preferred relationship, Kevin Keegan and Les Ferdinand,
Yeah.
you know that they've
been bedfellows.
yes. I was going to say they've
They're
been
either
skiing
siblings
together.
or bedfellows.
Bedfellows, but
That's pretty much how it goes.
I quite like.
Tell you what, you find out some great little like factoids from Footy Manager though. Like
I haven't played it for years.
It's like on the handheld version, it's got like that other nationality section. I mean, I imagine that the full version also has that. I don't know why I thought that the handheld would have something that the main thing doesn't have. It's quite a novice opinion really to have on Footy Manager, but
Still,
yeah, it's like, do you remember Johan Cabaye?
yes,
His like
Newcastle legend.
his second nationality was Vietnam, so I think he can represent Vietnam. It's like, you know how like
he can't now because he played for France.
well, yeah, but like if theoretically he could have played for Vietnam.
It's not like Kosovo, because if you were Swiss and then Kosovan, but because Kosovo have now come to fruition, they
Yeah.
exist, you can now play for Kosovo.
Yeah, no, I think that's a different one.
Don't
No, I
think
think
Vietnam's the
no, yeah, there's
Does
that.
Vietnam still exist? Or is it Chinese Taipei now?
No, I think Vietnam exists.
Does it?
Chinese Taipei is just Chinese Taipei, isn't it?
I've no clue.
Vietnam's like a separate thing.
I haven't a clue. I'm not a geographer.
Vietnam's still a place, I think.
Not a teacher like you.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm.
What's Yugoslavia doing these days?
It's still stuck in 1986.
How about Zaire? How's Zaire getting on?
Zaire.
Zaire.
It's
How long's it been since Libya didn't have an all green flag?
1972. Just made that up.
Could be right.
Zaire is now Congo. I
Right.
thought so.
Thank you.
The Democratic Republic of Congo.
Right. Yeah, I see.
Give it its full title.
Yeah. So is that like I say? Is it Zaire?
Zaire.
That was Zaire.
Zaire. No,
Zaire.
Zaire.
Yeah.
Like Ireland, Era. How's Era doing these days?
Yeah. How is Zaire doing these days? I don't know. Ask them.
Doesn't.
How's I don't know. Look. I've got no more material. All right. I'm not as funny as you
Is
want.
this material?
I don't know. Like how. What. I was meant to end the pod 13 minutes ago.
Nobody cares. Let's go on Spark FM now.
You know what, right? If you've for those who've listened in this far, we've got a game. If you answer this question right, I will get Graham to mail you a wamba, which he promised for the last competition, but no one won it. So this is for the wamba. It'll go to the first person who gets the correct answer. I'm thinking of a question. Hang on. It's going to be a Sunderland trivia related question, and that question is this. Still thinking. Who was the last Sunderland player to play semi-professional football in Australia?
Good
Who was
question.
the last Sunderland player to play semi-professional football in Australia?
Can I answer that now?
No,
Oh,
no, you can't because you.
I want a free one bar.
No. Graham will mail you a wamba if you get that question right. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good place to leave it. You know what? I never actually did. I never gave my predictions on the last two games.
Oh, please do that, because then
Okay, we're gonna.
'cause
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. That'll round it off very nicely.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. I think we're gonna lose 2-0 to United because I just think we'll.
I think that's probably more realistic than mine. Yeah.
And then I think we'll draw 1-1 with MK Dons and he'll get sacked.
So I mean, lose 1-1 with MK.
We'll lose 1-1, he'll get sacked. Yeah, pretty much. I think that was going to be exactly what happens because I have no more faith in that man, and I think he's lost the fans, and he may or may not have even lost the team.
You've broke me. You've broke me. I'm
Sorry.
broken. I was once a positive character, and now I have absolutely nothing to give. That's all because of you and your thoughts on Jack Ross.
Yeah, and you know what? I am not going to take them back.
I'm not going to lie. I'm so happy
Yeah.
that we've just been able to air our thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
even if nobody listens. At least it's out there. And-
Yeah.
and we're important now. We,
Mhm.
us, me and you,
Yeah.
a tag team. Like,
Tag team,
What
something.
what are we? Like the
Quinn and
Rock
Phillips.
Soft connection.
Yeah.
I was thinking wrestling, to be honest.
I never watched wrestling.
Did you not? Oh,
No.
When I was a kid, wrestling was mint.
No, I only
You've
watched Bargain Hunt. Sorry.
Go back to 2001, the archives.
Right.
Just watch wrestling from about 1999 to 2001.
Could do.
The Rock. I'd marry him, no and all.
Would you have Akin Fenway and Dwayne The Rock Johnson up front?
Yes,
I would.
I'd put Rock Johnson up front with just by sell.
Yeah. I put him on the pitch by himself.
I'd just rock bottom everyone. It'd be unreal. Oh, what a legend. Have Hulk Hogan come on at half time. Laughing here.
Well, on that note, I think there's only one way we're going, and that's towards the terminus of this pod. So, thank you, everyone who joined me in the studio today.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm so glad I was here.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry that I had to get you out of your bed to come here.
Honestly, like I needed to leave the house. I'd been doing work for like 8 hours straight. So I'm very glad that we've had about an hour and 17 minutes of nonsensical discourse.
I bet you it's 20 minutes when it's downloaded.
Oh yeah, once Sean trims this puppy down, it's going to be nothing.
You see trim,
absolutely nothing.
So trim, savage.
Once he slices this thing to bits, yeah,
savages it
like some kind of Sweeney Todd. We're going to have nothing left.
Ravages it like a savage dog.
Like a savage dog, yeah. Anyway, thank you, and see you next week.
Merry Christmas.
Dun 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 dun.
I've got pathetic little nibs.